Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the fifth installment of the weekly recap, brought to you by Roger Goodell, your commissioner, your overlord, the person who decides your fate. That's only partially true. Let's get it started. The average score for the week was 118.6. This was up almost 3 points over last week, and it's right down the middle as far as averages. The overall average is still being led by Blake at 169.6. He continues to put up the points. Todd has overtaken me for... Nope, I'm still in second at 147, Todd at 145, and Justin at 142. The lowest average per week is Chadwick at 81.44, which is more than half of Blake's weekly average, so that's pretty funny. I mean, it's funny for me, funny for Blake, probably not funny for Chad. What I'm going to do today is a little something that I call the Fantasy Failure Focus. This is a segment that's going to concentrate on Brandon and Chris. So Brandon and Chris combined for, let's see here, 75 plus 76.3, combined for 151.8 points. As you can tell, that's less than Blake's high score, and that's less than Todd's score for the week. Only 6 points more than Brad's score for the week, only 7 points more than Landon's score for the week. So, Brandon and Chris combined for 151.8. Furthermore, Brad's bench would have outscored their their scores each. Justin's bench would have beaten both Brandon and Chris's starting lineups. As you can tell, Brandon came in with the lowest score of the week at 75.5. I'm going to give the Lucky Ducky award to Chris, as he literally could only beat one team this week, and he played them. So congratulations for that very cheap victory, Chris. Was that your first win of the year? Yeah, that was your first win of the year, and you literally would not have beaten any other team. Don't mean to pile on, I'm just pointing out the obvious here. Injury bug goes to Brandon with Jamal Charles. That stinks. Goose eggs for the week, highlighted by Chris, who started Owen Daniels, and the Texans defense. So that's 2 goose eggs for the week for Chris. I understand starting Owen Daniels, but that's a big 0 for you. And one other note for the Fantasy Failure Focus for Chris and Brandon is I'm going to give the hard luck loss to Brandon. He lost by less than 1 point. Could have been 3-2. He's now 2-3. It happens. Life goes on. Round 1 flops of the week. I'll give myself Antonio Brown. I don't even know what he scored. I don't care. Eddie Lacy continues to disappoint. I believe that's a Chad Berardi draft pick. Furthermore, under Goose Eggs, Alfred Morris didn't quite get the Goose Egg, but he scored 1.5 against literally the worst rushing defense in the league. Not even just barely the worst, but the worst by far rushing defense in the league, the Atlanta Falcons. Alfred Morris could only manage 1.5 points. And you know what? Percy Harvin scored negative 0.1 points. That's pretty funny. Was that another Chad Berardi special? Yeah, I think so. The I would have started that guy award. Justin, your bench scored 119 points? No, I'm sorry, 128 points on Justin's bench. Tyler Eifert scored 29. Antonio Gates scored 30. The tight end you did start, Delaney Walker, scored 7.6. So I'm giving the I would have started that guy award to none other than Justin Hoffman. I'm not even going to point out Doug Martin, even though I just did, at 41.8. And even your backup quarterback would have outscored your starting quarterback. So, that happens sometimes. moving on. What else have I noticed? Here's a fun fact. Greg Henderson owns the player for the Jaguars, Allen Robinson. Greg has started Allen Robinson 3 times and is averaging 8.8 points per start. Greg did not start Allen Robinson twice, and he is averaging 32.35 in those 2 non-starts. So that's got to be frustrating. Thank you to Blake for pointing that out to me. And let's see what else. Blake had the high score. Who cares? Fun facts of the week other than the Greg fact. Blake has scored 100 plus points more than the next high scorer, which is me, and twice as much as Chad. So he's got a good start. It's a long season though. Top scorer of the week was actually on the waiver wire. Josh McCown had 44.5 points, which is almost half of what Chris and Brandon both scored. And let's see. Next to Doug Martin and Blake Bortles were both on a bench. They were the next 2 highest scores for the week. Those 3 combined, all 3 scored 40 plus, and were not played. Doug Martin, Blake Bortles, Josh McCown. And then the 4th highest score for the week was Eli Manning, who is on Chad's team. Chad scored 85.4 points. Eli Manning scored 39.1. That means Eli Manning made up 46% of Chad's score for the week. He remains 0-5 winless for the year, but I think he may get one at some point. I'm willing to bet that. The What's Up With That award, so didn't really have to do with the week 5 results, but Nick Schreiber put 74 fab dollars on Sharkandrick West. I might have overdone that. And finally, the best bench award goes to Hoffman. So I think that pretty much wraps up week 5 recap. Just pay attention to the league activity because I do plan on posting another video, I think on Friday. I have been looking at some history of the league, and I have noticed a few things that I want to point out, but I'm not quite finished doing my research. So check back in later on this weekend. Good luck to everyone. Get your lineups in. Hey Jeff, what's up with your fantasy name? I mean, are you trying to be Matt Castle? I don't understand, because you look like Matt Castle, but your team name is Matt Leinart, and I can't by any means think of what Matt Leinart has to do with current fantasy football. I don't know. Unless it's super esoteric, I don't really understand. Check you later. Good luck. Adios.